So, setup costs. When we're going to go through the presentation now, I'll go through it line by line. Rule of thumb, 6,500 per student. In the beginning, I was crying. I was like, people were telling me, oh, 5,000, 6,000. I'm like, no, it's impossible. How much does a bed cost? A bed is not 6,000 rands. It's not. But when you add up all your other things, your curtains, your couches, your TV, your fridge, your freezer, and I just kind of, I like, for some reason, I like to make things easier for myself. So I'm like, okay, this is what I spend on average, divide by X many students, and that's what I get. Now, the one thing is that 6,500, obviously, when you have, like we had at Picton yesterday, you have 3 students, you have 30,000 per apartment, as an example. Math there is not going to, that math was based on a house, 15 students, which is sort of the average that I worked on at the time. So everything, all ratios, you always need to think about it and adjust. Okay. But if you work with that, you should be more or less safe. Okay. The 60% rule. So if you take off your gross income, so you're making 80,000, I normally take about 60 to 70%, depending on, that includes a bond. So people normally, guys, will give you these numbers without a bond. They're like, yeah, your expenses is 40%, which is true, but add a bond. And we always have a bond, so I don't like to do numbers without bond amounts. Okay, so bond amount, investors amounts, everything included there. So roughly in your head, 30% of that money will be for you. The rest is going to go somewhere else. Okay, so then do the math. Okay, well, I'm going to get 80,000. 30%, is that enough? I'm going to get 20,000. 30%, is it worth my effort? Let's move a little bit. Okay, cool. Okay, then we're looking at electricity and water. We spoke about that in terms of prepaids. Water, currently I'm looking at different options. Prepaid water doesn't really work if you're doing it per room, right? There's no water in the rooms. But that is something, and the big thing with water, and in any facility, not just student accommodation, is around leaks. Okay, water, you can, I've heard about people putting on literally a timer on the shower, and the water only comes out for 2 minutes, and then the water's finished, which I don't want to go there, because I think it's going to cause a riot. So it depends on the type of thing you do, but I won't do that. But you need to keep an eye on your water, because that does become a problem overall. But the most of the water, what it goes, if it's not leaking, is showering. That's why I don't have baths. I only have showers.
Eco-friendly shower heads.
Eco-friendly shower heads with very low flow. I call it low flow shower head. So it's still strong, but it doesn't, it's less water.
Just a quick question.
More of a comment. I did the borehole, so that helps a lot. So the kitchen water is from the municipality, but everything else is from my borehole.
From the borehole, yeah.
Okay.
So if you do have that
smart,
option,
actually.
yeah, if you do have that option, then that is
It's a winner.
That's a winner, yeah, definitely.
Teaching us a thing or two.
Yeah. All right, cool. Wi-Fi, I think the one thing there is that I think my whole approach to Wi-Fi has changed, and especially with online learning. We spoke a lot about that yesterday. The setup cost initially is a lot, or not a lot, depending how you, a lot is like, it depends who you talk to. So it's about, for a normal house like at Iona, Link Road, the Potch properties, it's between 20 to 30,000 for the setup. But it comes with all those little thingies in the box, and you're never gonna, well, not never, but 99% of your Wi-Fi issues will go away. If I have to hear one more student complain about Wi-Fi, I'm gonna, I've just decided like enough is enough, no more. And then that solution worked quite well for me. And then start early. So just remember that when you apply your fiber line, it takes weeks for them to actually come out and install it for you. So start that process very, very early in the line and make sure that there is fiber in your street. I mean, can you believe this, that in Cape Town CBD Cape Town, Strand Street, no fiber? Like, what? I was like, are you kidding me? And it's literally, it's just that block, that little piece of that block that didn't have fiber at that specific building. So if you're then going to do, so there are options around it. We've got Jenny Internet, which you can access through Warren and them as well, the Synchrosec guys, because they come, they put a little satellite on the roof, and it's almost as good as fiber. Okay, it does cost a bit more, but at least your internet will be quite good. Yeah, we do that in Potch because I don't think we've got fiber there.
The fiber hasn't been rolled out there yet, so we use a wireless network.
Yeah, but they're very good. We don't have many issues with them. Okay, then when I go through the numbers now, we'll tackle the detail of this. Question, Terence?
Oh, I didn't see. Where's the question? How are you?
So for Wi-Fi, what's the monthly sort of expense?
On wireless or fiber? So on fiber, it can vary anywhere between $399 to 1,500 Rand. I recommend going for, on fiber, I'd probably go for 50 up, 50 down for every, I'd use that package for about 15 students. Anything more than that, I'd go a bit of a higher package. Again, I'd put in a server. You all saw our servers yesterday at our properties. So if you don't know what a server is, if you didn't see it yesterday, in that little red room at the back there, that's what a server looks like, so that you can control the output for your actual facility. Then on a wireless solution, we pay a little bit more because
About 2,500.
Yeah, 2,500 Rand for each property in Potchefstroom on a monthly fee. Yeah, that's why I recommend, and I think Retha was pushing the fiber. It is coming. We know that developers are pushing out aggressively, but they're not everywhere just yet. It's very hard for a business case to get out to all of the areas where the universities are, so they're getting there slowly. So wireless is a little bit more expensive, but you know, fiber is, internet is gold in student housing. So build the 2.5 in if you don't have a fiber network in your area.
Then some extra expenses that you might have, that's very student specific, that I didn't have initially, and it's now standard for all my properties. Pest control. No matter how many times you spray for cockroaches, they will always be there. Just minimize it, okay? We also try and reduce it through plastic bins and buckets and things like that, but cockroaches, and then we always have rat traps, baited rat traps, and you can either do a monthly fumigation, or actually a quarterly. So you just top up every quarter. That's normally a bit cheaper to do than just a once off. Then they try and put the whole every 6 months so quarterly. It's a thing that we do, and then the Wi-Fi. Another big one, your water and electricity, obviously you need to cater for. So here's another, I like my shortcuts. So another shortcut I use that we realized is that to budget for your common area electricity, budget for 10 rands per student per day. So that's 300 a month. But then that includes your water as well, your electricity, all your council stuff will be 10 rands per student per day. More or less. Okay, and then cleaning obviously is a thing. So what do you do with cleaning? Do you make them clean? Do you put people there every day? That is up to you. I like to put someone to come and clean the common areas every once a week. Okay, the rest of the time they must clean themselves, but there are certain things that, you know, good luck for you, they're going to do it. They're not going to clean bins, okay? I'm not even going to try and make them do that. And then they are always responsible for their own rooms, which makes the apartments better because they're responsible for the whole of the apartment.
Yeah, make sure you never take ownership of cleaning the room. I think things could go missing, then you'll poor domestic, or service you're using. It just becomes very complicated. Lucy, you got a question?
Yeah. With regards to your recycling, how do you go about that? Because I've noticed one yesterday at our owner for recycling, because there should be more recycling bins, seeing that you've got so many students
Yeah,
on
we
the
don't
premises.
recycle.
You don't?
It's probably not the best idea. It's something. It's an area of development.
That won't be on the
Thank you.
promo video next year.
Okay, because where I manage the building, there's 40 flats, then we've got like 3 bins for different things. But I've also got a recycling company that picks up the recycling for you at 175 a month, once a week. So you might consider that.
Yeah, that's
They're called
that's a
cool
cool-
waste recycling.
Okay.
They're quite affordable.
No, I think it's actually a very important point, because we all must do our bit for recycling and that. And I think very nice here in Cape Town is that the guys are really good. Council gives everybody a recycling bin, which we didn't get in Joburg, which I think is really awesome. So yeah, that's for us. It's definitely an area of improvement. Right now, I'm just trying to sort out Wi-Fi, but that is the next thing on my list. There was another question over there.
Got to put that hand up high, man.
Just a quick one. Isn't the common area part of the responsibilities of the house mother?
No, I don't like her to do that, because it reduces her authority. So they see her as the cleaner. They don't see her as the authority figure in the house. Yeah. So she's there to tell them to clean, to keep that authority going. So I don't. Last year I did have a house mother that also did the cleaning, and then the guys had no respect at all. They're like, well, why must I listen to the cleaner? It's not the cleaner, it's the house mother. No. It's her job to get them to clean up the common areas and make sure they wash their own dishes, because those are the rules. So she's there to enforce the rules.
Yeah.
Do you charge application fee to students? And if you do, and how much is it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we do charge an application fee. So I like to, well, at the moment we charge 500 rands. Okay, I'm going to increase that for next year. There's people that charge us like up to 2,000 rands application fee. I try to keep it low. This year I kind of split it because, and the reason I started to include it, last year I didn't, this year I started to include it because to do all that documentation for the NSFAS applications is so much work. I literally have to hire an extra person in that 2 months just to do that. So it does become an expense on my side. So I have started to include an application fee, but I'm going to increase it next year, maybe to like a 750 or a 1,000.
Area specific, where
Area
the accreditation
specific, yes.
allows you to charge an application and a deposit fee.
Yeah. But
So-
then the paperwork isn't so much when you're accredited, so you don't need that so much.